A homecoming for Jason Garrett. He grew up outside of Cleveland. His team at 6-1, and Hue Jackson trying to get this city its first win of the year. Let's say hello for the first time today to Peter Schrager. Hi, Peter.
Hey, Tom. Look, you mentioned it. Jason Garrett, it's a homecoming. It's also a homecoming for Ezekiel Elliott. First professional game here in the state of Ohio. You look around, there's a lot of Cowboys fans, a lot of Ohio State fans. If you hear that Zeke chant early, that is why. Jason Garrett spent 7 years as a child here in Cleveland, where his father, Jim, was an assistant coach. Wore number 17 as a player for Brian Sipe, the old Browns legend. As for the Browns, look for Jamie Collins, a new acquisition, number 51, to get a lot of looks. He's going to start at outside linebacker. Says he's ready to go. Going from a 6-1 team to an 0-8 team. Says he just wants to play some football.
And what a spectacular weather day it is. Just short of 60 degrees, bright sunshine, not a cloud in the skies above. Cleveland wins the toss and is elected to receive, and this is George Atkinson, and he will take a knee. Well, with all the talk about one rookie quarterback on the Dallas Cowboys side, there's also Cody Kessler, 23-year-old Baker's California native. Was a third-round pick out of the University of Southern California, fellas, and a big day against Tennessee. Made 5 starts in a row after not playing the first 2 games. Was out after a concussion last week and back in the lineup today. We're going to throw it on first down. Excellent protection. And the catch is made by another former Ohio State star, a quarterback in his days with the Buckeyes, Terrell Pryor Jr.
Well, Morris Claiborne, the normal starting corner, working on Scandrick. And the thing I like what Terrell's able to do is get Scandrick's shoulders turned, and to be able at that 6'6" frame to come back to the football with bent knees. That's how you come back to the ball in balance.
Some of that odd formation stuff we saw with the Bengals when Hue Jackson was their offensive coordinator. Wide open down the middle of the field is Isaiah Crowell. He's inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. How about that?
Well, we saw this in practice, didn't we, Charles? And right there, Crowell, number 34, right down the seam. And you do that out of confusion. And the Cowboys were planning to stop that, but they didn't. And when you get this again, run it again.
Now they'll move back into a regular, if there is such a thing, in this Hue Jackson offense formation, overloaded on the left side. And a 44-yard gain on the pass play to Crowell. And now he carries the football, and he's down close to the 12-yard line.
So Chris, you and I talk a lot about confusion through illusion. And what they did was they spread everything out, took their attention elsewhere, and then, as you noted, be able to sneak Crowell right down the middle. That reminded me of playing backyard football. We're getting close to Thanksgiving, right? You'll have your old Turkey Bowl games at home. That'll be the old center sneak play, right? Where the center snaps it and sneaks down the middle, and that turns into a major fight, and everyone's arguing about whether that was legal or not.
And what he did was he hid behind the guard so the linebackers could not pick him up, and that's where the confusion was caused.
Second down, and Kessler again. Protection breaks down, just throws it away to the left side with an eye on Andrew Hawkins. Kessler, a 3-year starter at the University of Southern California. We mentioned he threw for the 3rd most touchdowns in SC history, 4th most passing yards. Suffered a concussion 2 weeks ago against their rivals in state, the Bengals. Inactive last week, but right back to the starting lineup. Hue Jackson says we got to find out if this is our guy down the road. It's a 3rd down, only a 3-man rush. And now Kessler looking around, and he's still on his feet. And he fires to the end zone, and it is incomplete. And now 2 penalty flags come in as there's a fight. A fight is broken out at the 30-yard line.
You see him moving around, Kessler, and that movement, remember, he's a big-time basketball player in high school, so he has athletic ability. Now we're going to take a look at where all the flags came from.
That's
And it looks
Cameron Irving and David Irving, no relation.
So we have Irving on Irving crime going on, right? Cam Irving the center, David Irving a defensive tackle. They get
After the
tangled
play,
up.
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 94, 95 of the defense. Also, personal foul, number 74 of the offense. Their actions disqualified both players from the game.
So now your starting center is gone for Cleveland. As we see the end of this, Cam Irving and David Irving. David Irving, number 95 in blue. Cam Irving, number 74 in white. Starting center, they just said disqualified, right, Chris?
Well,
the starting center is now gone.
To me, that's about discipline, and you want to know why some things are 0-8, and that's a microcosm of why sometimes you're 0-8, because Cam Irving is a good football player, and if both of them are disqualified, that hurts the Browns. And Cam Irving has to have the discipline to let go of the face mask and not pull it off. That's indisciplined or undisciplined play, and nothing in the world, in my opinion, condones that type of behavior. You don't need it.
So that means you're going to have to reshuffle your offensive line, and when they play offense again, John Greco will probably be your center for Cleveland Browns, who started at right guard today.
Well, they've already had a lot of shuffling going on that offensive line to begin with due to injuries. You go back to Antonio getting hurt.
Yes.
And now both Irvings, and again, no relation. One begins with an I, the other with an E, will be escorted to their respective locker rooms. So a solid start to this drive. The completion of Pryor, the 44-yarder to Crowell, stalls. So now a 31-yard field goal by Cody Parkey, and it is right down the middle, good. So the Browns jump in front. And two players ejected on the opening series of the game.
This game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
It's a good start for the winless Cleveland Browns, a 3-0 lead on their opening possession. And now we'll get our first look at Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and the high-powered Dallas Cowboys offense. Lucky Whitehead and Lance Dunbar await on the kick. And out to the 25 it will go for Rayne, Dakota. Dak Prescott, 23 years young, grew up in Louisiana, a 3-year starter at Mississippi State. And due to an injury to Kellen Moore and then an injury to Tony Romo in the preseason, he starts from day one, has won 6 of his first 7 games.
And has everyone in that locker room believing in him if you talk to anyone around the organization. And that's huge for a rookie quarterback. And I know we'll talk about as the game goes on, but it really started early for him, getting that belief of his teammates.
Well, you can hear the crowd already chanting Zeke, Zeke, as Elliott is a lone setback, the former Ohio State star, and they put it in his hands. And they saw a whole bunch of that during his days at Ohio State University.
Zeke Elliott's a tremendous running back, but the reason why is you've watched the film. He's not touched until he's 3 yards past the line of scrimmage because of that whole offensive line. Nobody in the National Football League gets a surge or a push on defensive front sevens like that Cowboy offensive line.
The injured Cleveland Brown is their nose tackle. Number 1 pick a year ago, Danny Shelton, will step aside while they tend to him.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. Beer with your team on it.
Shelton able to get up and walk to the Cleveland sideline. Peter Schrager will keep you updated on what is going on with him on the first play from scrimmage. And the give is to Ezekiel Elliott once again. 2 carries, 14 quick yards for Elliott.
This is a Browns defense that's had its struggles all year long. The numbers are not good, but they're trying to build around some young talent. Big Danny Shelton, we saw him go off with the injury a minute ago at nose tackle. Carl Nassib, an excellent pass rusher from Penn State, and not spotlighted as Joe Hayden, number 23. He will travel with Des Bryant today, one-on-one in coverage there at the top of the screen.
Cowboys a number 1 ranked rushing team in the NFL. They dump it off to the backup tight end Swain, and he's dropped right at the 40-yard line. And tackle there by the rookie, now a starter. They expect Tracy Howard to step in there, but after the injury to Jordan Poyer, that's exactly where Howard is.
Did a nice job of staying disciplined. They were playing man coverage, and a lot of times for a young safety, you try to exploit them by the play action pass, get their eyes wondering. Right there, he was disciplined and stayed with his coverage.
Trying to talk about Cowboys leading the NFL, rushing for 164 yards per game. The Brownies are giving up almost that many. And there's a first down catch by Cole Beasley. They'll move the chains, and we moved LA to check in for the first time with Carissa Thompson. Hi there.
Hi, Tom. Let's look at this NFC East matchup. Both the Eagles and the Giants chasing the Cowboys. After a Carson Wentz turnover, the Giants able to capitalize. Odell Beckham Jr. 26-yard touchdown has them up 7-0. Tom, it's all yours.
All righty, Carissa. That's a big one inside that NFC East. It's been a very good NFC East so far this year.
Everyone above 500 in the division, the only one in the NFL that can boast that.
Smash behind the line of scrimmage is Elliott. And that's their leading tackler for the Browns, Christian Kirksey.
Well, if you play a team that runs the football a lot of times you can have a run blitz or a terrific read by Kirksey. See, he's hitting it on the run. The pulling guards there, and they don't have enough people to block back, and Kirksey does have a nose for the football. Very instinctive player in this 3-4 defense.
Danny Shelton, number 55, helped him as well, kept him clean so he could run to the football, but they didn't have anyone blocking him.
Second down at 14. Prescott now 3 for his first 3, and that's the future Hall of Famer, the great Jason Witten. 34 years young, a 10-time Pro Bowler. Had the game-winning touchdown last week. He's already set a franchise record for career starts, and today he breaks another Cowboys record. Leroy Jordan. They came in 154, and now that record belongs to Witten.
Didn't Leroy Jordan wear 54?
55.
55?
How did I know about linebackers?
That was Chuck Howard.
Emmanuel Ogbah may have jumped early. If so, that could be costly for the Browns.
Unabated the quarterback. Defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
A rookie quarterback making a veteran move because you're always trying to get position to stay ahead of the chains. He recognized cover 2, hit the check down to Witten. Right there, steal a few more yards. Go the hard count because you know this defense is fired up to play against the Cowboys.
You're right, that is a veteran move for a quarterback. Has so much to think about and still be able to be under control and use his voice to manipulate yardage and down and distance for his team.
But man, what a difference between 3rd and 9, and after the penalty, now 3rd and 4. Good protection. Now the pocket begins to collapse, and Prescott can run it. He's not done a lot of that this year, but he's more than capable going back to his college days, and that's a first down inside the 40.
And guys, what I'm eager to see today is to see what Cleveland brings in terms of pressure, because this is a terrific offensive line, as we've noted a number of times, and look how they held in pretty well. Plenty of time before he had to flush and go, but I want to see if Cleveland wants to keep bringing pressure and get Prescott on the move.
I'm watching Des Bryant come off that route. He's not running that route hard. Dak Prescott was looking to him. Des was not running. That forced Dak to tuck the ball and go.
And Jason Garrett was getting after Des a little.
He should get after him.
I saw him at the end of the play. Tell him to run the route harder.
Cowboys spend a timeout.
That's a thing. I mean, if you're a veteran wide receiver and you have a rookie quarterback, you have to sell like you're getting the ball every time. There are no plays to take off because Dak was coming back to his comfort level. Who wouldn't be Des Bryant's comfort level? He was dogging it down the field, but Dak kept the presence of mind to tuck it and go and pick up the first down with his legs.
And guys, you saw it, plenty of time for Dak on the pass play. And that's one of the things he's had the luxury of this year as a rookie quarterback. Plenty of time to go through progressions, find receivers. They've made it much more comfortable for him throwing the football. Philadelphia on Sunday night, they heated him up a lot. I want to see if Cleveland wants to follow the same formula, try and get some pressure on him and see if they can cause some inaccuracy in his throwing.
So a first down and 10 for Dallas at the 39-yard line. And they hand it to Elliott, the NFL's leading rusher, and he rumbles inside the 30. That'll be a gain of 12 and another first down.
Ronald Leary take a bow, number 65, with the kick out block. But watch where Zeke Elliott first gets touched. He's going to be 5 yards down the line of scrimmage. Now, I'm telling you, he has great burst. Nobody touched him right there. 5 yards down the line of scrimmage. He's so strong and powerful when he runs. Every time he gets contact, there's not too many times where this guy does not fall forward for an extra 2.
Drafted in the first round, the 4th overall pick. Only the 2nd time the Cowboys have used a top 5 pick on a running back. The other one wasn't too bad, known as Tony Dorsett. But boy, there's so many Buckeye fans, not only here in Ohio, but I mean a huge concentration in and around Cleveland. And they will never forget that 3-game run Elliott had en route to Ohio State's national championship 2 years ago. In a Big Ten title game, he goes for 220. Against Alabama, runs over the Crimson Tide for 230. And then in the national championship game, 246 yards in the rout of Oregon.
And they had Cardale Jones sling the rock a little bit that helped him.
His first 3 starts of his career, which made Ezekiel Elliott's yardage so much more valuable, take the pressure off of it.
Great point. Prescott throws to a wide open Witten, and he will tiptoe into the end zone. A touchdown for the Dallas Cowboys.
Confusion. He's only been here 5 days trying to practice number 51, Jamie Collins. You're asking him to do something maybe that he's not capable of doing just because he hasn't been here long enough when you have the matchup with Collins on Witten. And to me right there,
he's just falling into coverage. Is it zone? Is it man? Where am I supposed to drop? But how about the time that Prescott's got? He's thrown out of the rocking chair early in the game. And there's just no real pressure in his face.
And with that time, man, it allows him to get his footwork right. And when his footwork is right and he's pointing toward that target, feet and shoulders are to the target, he throws dimes.
Oh, he can sling it now. There's no doubt.
It's a 62nd career touchdown reception for Witten, 3rd most in Cowboys history. And all time by a tight end. He has tied Shannon Sharp, 4th most in that category. Point after by Bailey, right down the middle. So the Browns get inside the red zone, settle for a field goal. First possession for the Cowboys. Rookie quarterback, a strike to Witten.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. By Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents, only at Burger King. And by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Beautiful shot along the banks of Lake Erie, and Dak Prescott continues to etch his name in the Cowboy record books. Came in tied with a Hall of Famer and our colleague right here at Fox, Troy Aikman. And now all alone as Prescott was his 10th passing touchdown in this his first season.
Speaking of Cowboy legends, our linebacker Chris Spielman had it right. Leroy Jordan wore 55. Chuck Howley wore 54. Howley MVP of the Super Bowl. In a Super Bowl the Cowboys lost to the Baltimore Colts.
Cleveland with the football, trailing 7-3 when we return. Cameron Irving, the Cleveland center, thrown out of the game along with David Irving of the Cowboys on the first possession. So Greco does indeed, as you guys saw, moves over to center. And the guards flanking him will be Alvin Bailey on one side and the rookie Spencer Drango out of Baylor on the other.
They have an extra offensive lineman in Sean Coleman, 72.
First down, they swing it to Crowell. And he splits a couple of defenders and picks up close to 4. Well, I mean, the quarterback carousel is a microcosm this year of the Browns over the last 20+ seasons. Now, Robert Griffin III got hurt in week 1. They go to Josh McCown, and we've seen Terrell Pryor there a little bit. Cody Kessler starts 5 weeks in a row. He gets hurt. A little bit of Charlie Whitehurst, a little bit of Kevin Hogan. All took snaps. McCown back last week. And now this week they go back to Kessler, trying to find their quarterback of the future. And he connects with Hawkins for a first down. I mean, in the longer period of time, fellas, and it's been well documented. I mean, there are T-shirts, there's posters, there's billboards, there's profanity going all the way back to the 26 different starting quarterbacks for the Browns since 1999.
And to me, I think it's amazing that they've been as competitive as they've been in football games with that many quarterbacks playing.
Flag comes down immediately. And you're talking about some of the games they've been competitive in this year. I mean, they feel like they could easily have 3-4 wins.
They've had leads in the fourth quarter in 4 different games.
77 offense.
That was John Greco, who just moved over to center.
Dallas is elected to decline the penalty.
Well, it's a little difficult to play to center, and I'm going to tell you why. The biggest difference between playing center and guard, because of the timing. You have to snap that football. So when you snap that football, that defensive lineman is right in your ear hole. As a guard, you minus that time snapping the football, you can get right to your block. That's a big difference.
And notice what they're doing right now. Look at the tilt towards the center right now to try and put some pressure on John Greco, who just moved over.
2nd down and 15. And down the middle of the field, it's overthrown and nearly intercepted. It's Byron Jones back there, the 2nd-year free safety.
I thought he was going to come down with this one, but I think he got his back here. Watch as he goes for the football, because the receiver also comes into the play. And I think he thinks there's going to be contact, and there's not. And his concentration goes a little bit. Because that one turned out to be really a one-on-one catch. That one sailed. I think he thought maybe there was other things there. And Byron Jones, if I'm not incorrect, yet to have a career interception. That would have been his first right there.
They're down in 15. Kessler fires to Duke Johnson. Very dependable receiver out of the backfield, but well short of a first down, dropped by Durant. And the Browns on this 2nd possession, thanks in large part to a penalty, will punt it away.
We visited with Rod Marinelli, the defense coordinator of Dallas, last night, and it was a delightful visit. I mean, you talk about a walking encyclopedia of football and effort, and I was so struck by one thing he said: run, hit, tackle. It's always going to be a blue-collar league. And that's what we're seeing from the Dallas defense this year.
And they're playing as 11.
Boy, and you're right about Rod Marinelli. How delightful he was to spend time with him yesterday. And Brown's going to try and cover this up. And they're able to do so at the 1-yard line. 59-yard punt by Colquitt. Ricardo Lewis, a rookie down there, to tap it back in. Cowboys backed up on this here 2nd possession inside their own 1-yard line.
You know what would be fun right now? Trust that offensive line, go play action, and send it out wide to Dez Bryant. They are shading their coverage towards him now.
Turn around and hand it to Elliott. And a little bit of wiggle room as he's out across the 5, but what a start it has been for this rookie out of Ohio State. The 2nd most rushing yards by a rookie through his first 7 games. And look at some of the names on this list: Dickerson, Rodgers, the great Adrian Peterson.
That's a mammoth list right there, isn't it? George Rodgers won a Heisman Trophy at South Carolina in a 7-4 regular season, I believe. And he was just an absolute man playing for the Gamecocks.
Turn around and give it to Elliott again, and this time he's dropped right at the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard, so it brings up a 3rd down from just outside the 5-yard line.
So when you run the football effectively, that forces a defensive coordinator's hand. Ray Horton is playing aggressive. He's betting on them running Zeke Elliott. So on 2nd and longs, he's calling run-down blitzes and playing man-to-man. Now, if you're up in the box, you say, what do we do to counter? And like Charles, you go bootleg or play action on 1st or 2nd down. Something to look forward to the next set of downs.
The Cowboys, the first 5 games of this year, were the best 3rd down offense in the NFL. But their last 2 games, they're just 7 for 25 against Green Bay and Philadelphia. 3rd down here. Prescott throws, and it's incomplete. And now the Cowboys will have to punt it out of their own end zone. That's an outstanding play. Hayden step for step with Dez Bryant.
So look at this, because Tramon Williams ends up getting the coverage on Dez Bryant. We've been expecting Joe Hayden to be attached to him all game, and Tramon Williams, a Pro Bowl choice with Green Bay in 2010, right on that upfield shoulder.
All about the technique, too, not only on the upfield shoulder, but that right arm coming down and swatting the arms away of Des Bryant, forcing the drop.
And you want that upfield arm taken away for a receiver. Harder to cradle a pass with your inside arm.
And I stand corrected. That was Tramon Williams, a longtime Green Bay Packer, who that time was step for step with Bryant. That's a dangerous play on one bounce by Duke Johnson, but great field position for the Browns on offense, trailing with 3:01 to go in the opening quarter. Our aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Look at that, right alongside the banks of Lake Erie, looking into downtown Cleveland. What an incredible sports calendar year it has been for this city. Their Cavaliers, led by LeBron James and company, win the NBA title. First time in franchise history. And of course, just this past week, you saw it here on Fox. Their beloved Indians, a 3-1 lead over the Cubs, and the Cubs storm back to win it in 7.
To go.
Hue Johnson left shaken up on that last punt return a minute ago, and now dropped is Kessler all the way back to the 37-yard line.
Watch the eyes of Pastor, the tackle. He's looking outside. Right away, that eliminates any run threat. And they're able to time their blitz perfectly. And you see the excellent athletic ability by Hitchens to avoid the cut block, keep his feet, and able to seal the deal. But you got to watch those offensive tackles, because they'll give run pass away every single time with their eyes.
Damian Wilson also in on that sack. He's getting more and more playing time at linebacker for the Cowboys. It'll delay to Crowell. And he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. And let's check in once more with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Pittsburgh, Big Ben's back, by the way, at Baltimore. But Joe Flacco is worth highlighting here. He finds former Steeler Mike Wallace for a 95-yard score, the longest passing touchdown in Ravens history. Baltimore up 7-0. Tom.
All right, Carissa, thank you. A 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Browns, trailing 7-3. And they dump it up to Barnidge, a tight end with blockers in front of him. And he's very close to a first down. Needed to get to the 44-yard line, and it very much depends on the spot. I mean, it's right there.
They had Dallas frothing at the mouth, didn't they, wanting to get after him? Here's Barnidge here. Sets it up, shows the block, slips out, and look at the convoy he gets out in front of him. Bailey 78, Pazder 67, Greco 77, and he gets it dangerously close to a first down. Tackle at the end by Sean Lee. I don't know if he's short or if he made it. Well conceived, designed, and executed play by Cleveland.
It's a no-brainer. You go for it here on 4th down. Your own 8. You play to win.
Got to.
And it looks like they're going to have to make that decision.
Now this will be the interesting call, because Dallas will come at them trying to knife through and get through the middle. I'm not sure Cody Kessler is one of your quarterback sneak guys. So are you going to take the ball off the line of scrimmage to Crowell, or are you going to try and do something else and get to the perimeter? I'm
going to trust Crowell, because Crowell is a very underrated running back in this National Football League. Hue Jackson told us that. He runs with power. The other thing, you have a 6'6" wide receiver out there that can use his strong body to match up anybody in this Cowboys secondary, and he'll win those battles.
It's about Terrell Pryor out wide, number 11. If you want to throw a hitch or something to him, they're going to come out in a tight formation, though.
3 of 7 on 4th down are the Browns this year. And Kessler's going to cup up under center. And Kessler will take it and has a first down. Remember, it was Jason Garrett who was the gambling head coach a week ago. They had the fake punt. Jones ran it for 30 yards in the 4th quarter. Then they had a 4th and 1 in overtime, and now the Brownies execute.
And this is well executed, because watch what Kessler does. He reads his block and moves to the left. He didn't just take the ball and burrow behind the center no matter what. See that? He reads the block that he gets from Spencer Drango, number 66, against a knifing Dallas defender trying to move inside.
Now on first down, they're going to throw it. And the catch is made inside the 35-yard line by Coleman, the rookie out of Baylor. The second game of the year, he had 5 catches for 104 yards. Well, the following week in practice, he broke a bone in his hand. Today's his first game back since week 2.
And that was a shock to everyone's system because he actually practiced the entire practice with a broken hand before it was diagnosed. But it was good to get him going. They've got to get him started to take some pressure off of Terrell Pryor.
Man who grew up in Dallas, Texas, was a 15th overall pick. And now the throw to the end zone. Looking for Coleman. And it's incomplete. Orlando Scandrick back in the starting lineup again with the injury to Claiborne in coverage.
Well, it's all about discipline as a defensive back right here. They did a little double move. Fake the slant. They call that sluggo, slant and go. Scandrick playing the man, not the ball. Excellent position.
Didn't panic at all because he actually beat him pretty quickly off of the line of scrimmage. Good strength by Coleman to throw him off. And Scandrick recovered well without interfering.
Second down and 10. Duke Johnson cuts it back the other way. And good running room. He is dragged down to the 22-yard line, about a yard short of a first down on what will be the final play of the opening quarter. 7-3 Cowboys, back after a word from your local Fox station. Tell you what, you played one quarter. If you're the Cleveland Browns, you haven't won a single game all year long. You're a huge underdog against the hottest team in the National Football League. And here you are starting the second quarter on a 3rd and 2.
But you can't miss any opportunities. That's the thing. You have no margin for error. So down here in this zone, almost in the red zone, they've got to cash in.
Well, they had to settle for a field goal the first time. What about now? They're looking for Pryor in the end zone. And it's incomplete. Brandon Carr back there with Pryor.
I know the fans wanted a flag on this play, but I think the reason that there's not, watch Brandon Carr, number 39. Watch him, good body control on the stutter step. He's reading the eyes, but he doesn't run over the receiver. He's there, got a hand inside and trying to play the ball, but nothing that's excessive where he's like leaping into the receiver that draws the eyes of the official there. They'd let him play that one out.
And Charles and Chris on this 41-yard field goal attempt now by Parkey. I would ask you the question as this one is off the upright. Are you kidding me?
He had made 10 straight, hadn't he?
Yes, Tom, I would have went for it.
Well, I was going to ask you about the play call in general. I mean, that's it. That is not a high percentage call on a 3rd down and 2.
I'd have to go back and see what the progressions were and see what was either taken away or if they were trying to just play big boy football.
Well, here's what I'm going to say is that they're going to trust, and as you'll see it here, as you checked it by the right goalpost as you look at it, they trust Terrell Pryor to go up and win a 50-50 ball. In their eyes, it's probably a 70-30 ball because of the size matchup.
And what you're asking the quarterback to do is put it up there where only he can get it.
Or Terrell needs to do a better job adjusting back to the football, which I thought he was late doing. That's why they called that play, in my opinion.
Well, they fake it to Alfred Morris, and Prescott throws a bullet into the hands of Terrence Williams, and he has a first down up to the 46-yard line.
Well, his footwork has been tremendous today. I've been watching it closely. Last week against Philadelphia, he's parallel, he's fading away, and he's throwing it off his back foot.
That's all.
And not driving off that right foot. When he drives off the right foot, he's not parallel. Shoulders and feet are married to the target. He is as good as there is as far as accuracy. I'm not kidding when I say that. He is on target and on time, and he's getting more confident as the game goes on.
5 out of 6, 58 yards, and a touchdown pass so far for Prescott. And that is Alfred Morris, former Washington Redskin. In fact, he had 3 excellent years for the Redskins, over 1,000 yards each of his first 3 seasons in the league.
Not bad for a 6th-round pick out of Florida Atlantic University. And that last throw, Chris, even though it was outside of the pocket on the run, it goes back to the point you made about being able to drive off the back foot. Even though he was on the run, got his shoulders turned in the proper direction, pointed towards his target, and threw off of that foot on the run and delivered a strike to Terrence Williams.
It's a big missed opportunity there a moment ago for the Browns. Had a chance to get within a point as Morris carries for a first down and then some, as he's dragged down to the Cleveland 35-yard line. It's the most undisputed, outspoken duo in all of sports talk on FS1.
Chris and Charles?
Tomorrow, we debate all of today's NFL action.
And I'll tell Skip why the Cowboys won't get to the Super Bowl.
Good luck with that. Undisputed, America's fastest growing sports show, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
They're coming your way tomorrow.
Be watching.
They got a great field position here to do whatever they want in the playbook on first down.
Morris still in there. And they'll give it to him again. Not as much running room this time. A gain of close to 2 from Morris. As Elliott gets a breather. 7 attempts for 25 yards thus far for Ezekiel Elliott.
I'm going to go back to something Tom just mentioned a minute ago. Alfred Morris, 3 great years in Washington. All right. Now he's come here. He's got to be the backup guy. It changes your mentality as a runner. Understanding that you won't get the same number of carries. But when you're in there, you have to maximize them. But you can't force runs either and cost your team. He's like a designated hitter in baseball. Maximize with very little opportunity.
All day to throw it. And wide open down at the 25, and that's the first down is Witten.
Such a mismatch for defensive backs. I mean, Jason Witten in his 14th year is as smooth and calm as he's always been. Watch him work the zone coverage. Now, he recognized right away it's zone. He's got a linebacker defensive back sitting on him, sells inside, and just turns around and trusting that Dak is going to read the linebacker like he's reading the linebacker, and the ball will be delivered to a spot, not to a man.
127th consecutive game today. Witness made a reception. And now looking at Bryant. And unable to hang on. He had beaten Joe Hayden. And that throw looked to be right on the money, and Bryant begging for a flag that doesn't come.
I've been wondering where Cole Beasley's been, but watch this route here. Everyone might think that he's loafing off the line of scrimmage. He's not. All he's doing is recognizing man-to-man coverage and running it short, so it turns into a one-on-one route with no one else in the picture but Dez Bryant, Joe Hayden. And he was right there. Hayden right at the end, reaching hard, but that looks to me like one that Bryant should have hauled in.
Well, if you're Dez Bryant, that's your standard, not anybody else's standard.
That's not one he need to worry about the officials. He needs to go out and grab that one.
Blown dead before it ever got started.
I want to make a quick point to what you said. So you saw Cole Beasley coming out, Tremont Williams.
68 offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
When you come off slow at the line of scrimmage, then Tremont Williams cannot fade back in help. That's why Cole Beasley looked lazy, but that's designed to keep the corner from going back to help on Dez Bryant running that quick seam.
Wanted to make it a one-on-one route for Bryant versus Hayden. Held that corner there, as Chris just noted, and that's what you got.
That's good.
So a second down and 15 for the Cowboys from the 29. Quick slant, and the catch is made at the 20 by Bryce Butler, the former Raider. And a third down coming up for the Cowboys.
The problem when you play zone, you are given a pre-snap read to Dak Prescott. He can survey the field, understand where the preconceived weakness of the zone is, and just go right there. I mean, he's not even surveying the field. He understands it's 3 deep, the corner's off, the slant's going to be wide open all day. Easy pitch and catch.
That looks like he's still, or rather Dez, that he's consumed with that call in from the end zone a moment ago.
Got to let it go. But Cole Beasley's a guy that's a great third down receiver. They didn't get him involved in Philadelphia until the 4th quarter.
Across the middle, and it is the money man. And that's Jason Witten to the 11, and that's another first down.
So you just get the idea that if you throw it in a 5-yard radius because of a 6'6" frame and 265 pounds, that he's going to get it. Right here, he's just going to set in front of the safeties, and that big body does not allow the safety to maneuver around to knock it out. And plus, when he gets that ball, like all great receivers, not just tight ends and receivers, strong hands, it's tough to rip it out.
Last time Witten played the game and did not have a catch, it was November of 2008 against the Giants. This is Elliott sniffing the end zone. And did he get there? Officials talking about it. Still talking about it. And apparently just short of the goal line.
Watch the left hand, though. If I'm Dallas, I want to take a good hard look at this one. Because watch him here. He stiff arms. But watch him at the end, shifts the ball with the left hand, reaching for the pylon. I have to think you got to take a look at that if you're Dallas.
Well, now they're signaling a touchdown.
I think they got it right on the second signal, guys, because his ability to shift hands, watch. Shifting hands here, knows where it is. Don't worry about the outside part. See the ball on the inside? He's inside the pylon and he's in the end zone. That's a touchdown, guys.
And for Ezekiel Elliott, that is his 6th rushing touchdown in this his rookie year.
He almost looked like an excellent point guard who could score with either hand, right? Doesn't matter if it's the left side, the right side, how you get to the 10. He ends up finding that pylon and finding it in it. Chris, is that a nose for the end zone? That's forget nose. That's a nose, hand, body, the whole deal for the end zone.
And a 1-2. One thing about Ezekiel Elliott, what he was in college and what he's turned out to be in the NFL, he can finish. And he knows where that goal line is, and that wherewithal and the understanding to switch the ball to get it across the line before he went OB. That's a veteran move.
Told you Elliott was 6 rushing touchdowns. He has as many or more rushing touchdowns than 13 teams in the NFL this season. A former Buckeye remembering his OHIO days.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell's Rolled Chicken Tacos. By T-Mobile, switch to the network built for unlimited data. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Small screen, stadium size content. Watch live local Sunday games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. Welcome back to downtown Cleveland, Ohio. After the missed field goal, Cowboys go 69 yards in 9 plays. Elliott the touchdown and a 14-3 lead. Lewis from the 3-yard line tries to get around the corner, slowed down, cuts it back the other way, and is still on his feet. That is not a flag down, that's a shoe down, and now there's a flag down about 10 yards after where the shoe came off.
Yeah, he threw the shoe first, and then the flag came after it. Shoe. Flag.
During the return, holding, number 24, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Campbell with the infraction will back up Kessler and the Browns when we come back. Cleveland on offense. Browns have been able to move the ball up and down the field. Got a field goal inside the red zone their first possession. They failed just outside the red zone on a 3rd and 2 their next possession and missed a field goal. First down carry by Johnson for a couple of yards, and let's check in downstairs with Peter Schrager.
Thanks, Tom. Talking about Cody Kessler, this is a kid who had 4 different head coaches at USC. Lane Kiffin, Ed Orgeron, Steve Sarkisian, and Clay Helton twice. When Kiffin was fired on the tarmac there at USC, Marcus Allen brought the team together the next day, pointed at Cody Kessler, who was just a sophomore, and said, this is your squad, go out and lead them. They're an 0-8 team right now. Let's see if we can lead the Browns.
Well, they want to find out if this young man is their quarterback of the future.
And Peter's report is so accurate. One of the reasons they were attracted to him is his ability to deal with multiple systems, multiple people.
Breaking out of that pack somehow, someway is Duke Johnson. And he has a first down up to the 21-yard line, and we check in L.A. with Kurt Menefee.
Well, interceptions on the first 2 possessions by the Eagles offense gave the Giants a 14-0 lead, but back comes Carson Wentz, picking up with Bryce Tregg for a 58-yard score, setting up a Ryan Matthews touchdown. And all of a sudden, we got a ball game. It's 14-10. Philadelphia down by just 4 now. Tom?
Now, Charles, here's a note. You will be the only one that remembers that name.
Mike Barilla. Okay, I want to get this one right. Number 11, please.
I mean, when earlier, when you had the wrong number, even Jason Garrett said last night when he walks, he says, this guy knows everything about football, talking about Charles Davis. I can never remember you getting anything wrong.
And I got Chuck Howley and Leroy Jordan wrong. By number, 54, 55. What's wrong with me? And I'm up here next to a linebacker, and in the break,
that's right.
In the break, Chris said, Charles, you think a linebacker's going to get that one wrong?
Especially Leroy Jordan.
I mean, what am I thinking?
Hurry, hurry, go.
Once more on the ground, this time to Crowell. Cedric Thornton, the former Eagle, who had a big sack in that win over his former team last Sunday night there on the stop.
And that's something the Browns want to do more of, which is hand it to Isaiah Crowell. But they're not getting nearly enough yardage first and second down in order to keep the drives going. They keep handing it to him. They're getting these third down situations where they have to throw the football and take the ball out of his hands.
Cleveland, nothing of 4 on third down so far.
Duke Johnson out of the backfield is one of their best targets, one of the best running backs in the league to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Kessler throws, and the catch is made, but short of a first down by Barnage, the tight end. And that's Jeff Heath, the infrequently used safety on the coverage and the stop.
And Chris, they took it out of Duke Johnson's hands to run a route here. Watch this blitz by Byron Jones. And look how he makes sure he hangs on to him a little bit so that Duke Johnson doesn't get out into a route.
And the Cowboys secondary did an excellent job against that bunch coverage of not getting caught up in the mess and playing their guys, avoiding traffic and eliminating yards after catch.
Oakwood puts a foot on it. And the catch at the 30 by Whitehead. And excellent coverage by the Browns, tackling him at the 32. 14-3. Cowboys back on offense when we return.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Of course, much debate about Tony Romo. He's missed the first 7, now 8 games with a broken bone in his back. Suffered in the 3rd preseason game of the year against the Seattle Seahawks. Made 127 regular season starts for the Dallas Cowboys. He's won 78 of them. As Elliott breaks it to the outside, and that's a gain of 12 on first down. And in the last 2 weeks, Romo is starting to practice. Looked very sharp, according to his head coach Jason Garrett, and his wide receiver, one of them anyway, and Des Bryant on Thursday. But everybody wondering, you know, how long is this leash, if you will, on Prescott? I mean, is he in a spot, fellas, where if he has a bad game, you're going to go to Romo? Are you going to allow him to have a bad game? What do you think?
I think right now you ride the hot horse, and that's Dak Prescott. He's turned the ball over 4 times in the last 2 weeks. Today he's looked outstanding. The offense is clicking. They have rhythm. You know, you can lose your job because of injury, but if he keeps playing like he is, there's no way you take him out. No way.
Been a busy day for Witten. Cuts it back to the inside, and he's all the way to the 20. It's a gain of 15 and another first down.
I'm going to tell you guys, as we look at the comparison with these two, Tony Romo is going to get every bit of respect due to him and deserved. But this team, this locker room, is playing for Dak Prescott right now. And you asked about how long the leash is. I think the leash is longer than what people think.
Really?
I think that if they walk through that locker room and take the temperature of those players now, they will give Tony the respect he deserves and let you know that they want Dak to be their quarterback.
If turnovers become a problem with Dak Prescott, that's when you'll see Tony Romo.
Yeah, this level right now, don't expect to see Tony play.
Delay to Elliott, and tried to cut it to the outside and just swarmed. Schobert there, Collins there.
That's what Jamie Collins is brought in to do. Now he's upgraded their linebacker core significantly, playing the outside. This is what I like, defeating the blocker one-on-one, clearing yourself, then a wrap up, head up, eyes up, wrap up, bring your feet, and finish the tackle on a very tough guy to bring down in Ezekiel Elliott. But that's what Jamie Collins was brought to do. And I love the fact how he's embraced the trade and embraced his role with the Browns. He just wants to play football. That's all he wants to do, and he did on that play.
Second down at 13, and Prescott rolls out to his right. That's Beasley inside the 35, and he's about a yard or two short of a first down. Let's go back to LA, and once again, here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Philly at the Giants. Now, the Giants' offense, they've been dormant as of late, but not today. Odell Beckham Jr., that 1-yard touchdown from Eli Manning is his second of the day. He now has 5 touchdowns in his last 4 games. Giants up 14-10. Tom?
All right, Carissa, thanks so much.
Isn't it interesting that all we're talking about now with Odell Beckham Jr. is just how he's playing?
That's right. And that's the way they want it.
And frankly, hasn't hurt his play, has he? I mean, this is just go play ball, young man. The rest of it will come.
Third in the yard, they pitch it to Elliott. He'll get around the corner for a first down to the 25-yard line, and they move the chains inside of 3.5 to go.
What sets Zeke Elliott apart from a lot of guys is people underestimate his speed. He was a 110 hurdle champion in high school, and that's what he can do. Not many guys can get to the corner, especially against a fast linebacker like Jamie Collins. He just beat him to the edge, Charles.
Ezekiel Elliott, Odell Beckham Jr. You know what they have in common? Both of their mothers were track stars. The speed really came from mom, even though dads were both football players.
Elliott again to the inside. And he's inside the 10. That'll be a gain of 16 by Elliott. First and goal for Dallas.
About when they took him #1, people balked, but watch Travis Frederick, the center, an athletic center that can pull. Look at him get on the edge and read it like a running back, kick out Brown, the nickelback, and Zeke Elliott again, not going out of bounds, looking to get inside.
And you know what people do underestimate about offensive linemen? How difficult it is for them to hit moving targets in the open field. We talk about open field tackling being difficult. How about an offensive lineman pulling and trying to block someone trying to evade them? Frederick connected.
Williams isolated, and that was defended very nicely by Cleveland. Second down and goal. Tramon Williams. What a career he's had. Going back to his days, an undrafted rookie, and wound up a Pro Bowler, won a Super Bowl while with the Green Bay Packers.
His 30 career interceptions, and he danced and danced and danced some more on that play, didn't he, with Terrence Williams, to make sure he didn't break through with 2-minute warnings coming up.
Dallas trying to add to a 14-3 lead here in Cleveland. When we come back, will they give it to Elliott again to get his second touchdown? We'll know in a moment. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes to play. Jason Garrett's team with a 14-3 lead. More with us earlier, a homecoming for Garrett. Grew up just outside of Cleveland, Ohio in Hunting Valley. Went to University High School. Play fake. And Prescott rolling and throws it away.
Good play for Cleveland, being able to hold them there off of the play fake. They showed power set, and he thought he'd be able to exit out and find someone. Emmanuel Ogbah, number 90, an exciting rookie for the Browns. 3 sacks in his last 3 games coming into this one, but a really intelligent play by Prescott. Nothing available, didn't force it, threw it at the feet of the receiver so there wouldn't be an interception. With this offensive line and this unit, he's happy to live to fight another down.
Loves Des Bryant or Whitten down here in this type of scenario and situation.
Yes, down and goal. Lance Dunbar is checked into the backfield alongside Prescott. Beasley escaping Williams in the corner, and that's a touchdown for the Cowboys.
The Browns know they love Des Bryant, so they're going to pay extra attention to Des Bryant in the red zone, which allows Cole Beasley to be patient in his route. And again, a strike. Watch here. Des Bryant will take 2, allowing Cole Beasley on the easy out cut.
A confusion here with Williams and
Tramon Williams. I mean, that's what you, and Joe Hayden. You're right, Tom.
That shouldn't have been what you call a banjo call.
That's a banjo. It's a me-you. So
Me-you. Who you take him if he comes to the out. I take him if he comes to the outside. You take him if he comes to the inside. And neither one of them took him.
And that's why you stack those wide receivers to cause that confusion between the guys playing man-to-man.
And guys like Hayden and Williams have been around long enough to know about playing the banjo. Your Grateful Nation is a nonprofit corporation dedicated to the support of U.S. combat veterans and their families during and after their transition from the military to civilian life. It includes employment transition services, paid internships, cooperative education, and family stabilization support. The focus is to serve the special operations community and associated personnel who have faced high-risk situations. Learn more. Please visit foxsportsupports.com. Atkinson from the 1-yard line, and he stood up just short of the 20. These are halftimes coming up. How about it, Kurt Menefee?
Don't move. Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Chiefs, well, they're looking to put the freeze on the Jaguars. And Ben Roethlisberger hoping not to look stiff in his return. So sit still. Terry, Michael, Jimmy, Howie, and me are next on the Visa halftime.
Dude, Kurt's got it going on. He may be a mannequin, but he's getting made up by two people in that picture. That boy Kurt got it rolling.
Now under 2 minutes to go, and Kessler going to put it up. And there's a strike across the middle of the field and up to the 40-yard line. On the reception is a rookie, Coleman.
Heck of a throw right there by Kessler, and a nice catch by Coleman. Understand there would be contact. One of the best features of him coming out of Baylor, Corey Coleman, competing for the football downfield.
Kessler this time going to dump it off to Johnson. He thought about getting to the sideline, knew he wouldn't make it. And the Browns are going to spend the first of 3 timeouts. Or are they?
Go on.
Heard the whistles blow. Clock is still running on Nolan Martin. Sounded like multiple whistles were being blown there. They're going to hand it off. And that is a first down. Close to the Dallas 45. I would imagine we'll get that timeout now. We do. Coming up later tonight, the MLS playoffs continue. The second leg of the conference semis. New York City FC takes on Toronto FC. Then FC Dallas looks for a big comeback against the Sounders. It's all tonight on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
How about that New York City FC and New York Red Bulls rivalry right there inside of the Big Apple?
Where's the Cosmos? Are they in it or are they out?
You're missing the Cosmos? You're missing Pele and Kinalia and
Karch Karai, right?
Shep Mesh, not Karch Karai.
Oh, he's a volleyball.
Volleyball.
Jeez, old Pete.
And Cody Kessler's playing pretty good quarterback, and it's a chance for these guys and Hue Jackson to get an evaluation of Cody under these circumstances.
2 minute.
This whole team is under evaluation.
But a 2-minute drive, that really puts a good eval on a quarterback, how he handles everything.
Kessler steps into this throw, and right on the money, it is caught by Coleman again. Hey, by the way, saw that note, another rookie record in Cowboys franchise history. This one in completions now for Prescott. Already bypassed Troy Aikman in yards, and earlier today broke a tie with Aikman for touchdown passes by a Cowboy rookie.
So just take the rookie quarterback record book for Dallas and tear it up, and just wait to the end of the year and put the numbers back in, because Dak's going to put them all out of sight.
Precisely.
But how about that throw there by Kessler? What was one of the things you liked most about him, Chris, coming out of college?
The best physical attribute that number 6 Cody Kessler had to me was his accuracy. He doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss this time either. Trying to strip that away was Hitchens from Terrell Pryor Sr.
And his toughness, because Tom and Charles, he took a shot right there. You see the late flag for roughing the quarterback, but that says a lot about a young guy to be able to stand in there and take a shot and still deliver the strike.
Remember the shot he took earlier in the year against New England? I think it was Dante Hightower that set him back for a while. And there it is, down on the legs. And let's face it, after what happened last week with Cam Newton in Carolina, and that was DeMarcus Lawrence, number 90, who's trying to get his first sack of the year. With what happened last week with Cam Newton, and then the subsequent discussion about it, they're going to be really sensitive to being around the legs and the ankles of quarterbacks. And you'll see a lot of flags if you're anywhere in the vicinity this week.
Hey, pretty impressive day here for Kessler. I mean, he's moved them up and down the field. They've just been unable to get it done on third down, 0 for 5.
But now they have to ring that bell, guys. They've got to find a way into the end zone.
Kessler lost it to the end zone. And that is batted away. Excellent coverage by Brandon Carr. They've tried that twice, and it's nowhere close to working.
Well, the ball's late, because you're going to see Coleman has to slow down, and Brandon Carr, so people understand you don't have to look back for the football. Well, they think you have to look back for the football to get an interference. You don't have to. But right here, just the patience and the discipline not to grab or panic and throw that right arm up late to knock it away. That's where a veteran will do that, where he trusts his training and his ability not to panic under direct circumstances.
You know what else he had? He had an extra defender. It's the back of the end zone, the back line. You can only go so far, and he knew that.
Second down. And we're under 30 seconds. Kessler rolling, throws. And it is a touchdown for Pryor, but there is a penalty flag on the play. And they're already pointing to the Cowboys, at least some of the Browns are, and we'll see if it stands indeed.
Offside. Defense, number 90. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is touchdown.
Again, that's Lawrence who had the penalty that put him in prime position a moment ago.
Watch Terrell Pryor, and we've talked all this game about what a physical mismatch he creates. But look at him. In this case, he does it by being able to be shifty as well. Stop and start. Went inside first, saw his quarterback exit, adjusted his route and got into his quarterback's sight line and went to a spot where he had a chance to complete the pass, and they did for their first touchdown of the game. That was really well done by Terrell Pryor. Didn't give up on the route, realized his quarterback was in trouble, found the open place, and worked with him to find the touchdown.
And you cannot see an improvement from him as he grows into that position even more.
I mean, you just can't believe until you actually stand close to Terrell Pryor. What an extraordinary physical specimen this young man is, and to think he was, an elite all-American college quarterback, and then to give it a go, fellas, for the better part of 4 years as a quarterback for Hue Jackson with the Oakland Raiders. He wasn't ready to move on when others suggested he change positions. He was out of football entirely in 2014. Then last year said, all right, I'll give it a go. He had one catch, played 3 games, had 1 catch. Well, now all of a sudden he's knocking on the door of 50 receptions through the first 8+ games.
There's not too many athletes in the world who can make the transition that Pryor made for this reason, because he's going to be a #1 receiver.
Yes.
And when he grows into this position, and because he's such a great athlete and his size. And what took for that to happen was Terrell to humble himself. Yeah. Say, I'm not a quarterback. I'm no longer a quarterback in the NFL. And if you know this kid and you know about his story at Ohio State, humility wasn't a strength of his. No. Now, he's not saying he was cocky, but he was very confident. So it took him a long road to realize if I want to be an NFL football player, I need to commit to changing, and that's exactly what he did.
You can go ahead and use that word, because what reason would he not been? An All-American high school football, basketball player, great player in college, but he needed to be a wide receiver in the NFL.
23 ticks remain, and we send it back to Carissa Thompson.
Yeah, Tom and Charles covering Terrell in college at Ohio State. He was very confident. You know who else is confident? Matt Stafford. He's rolling, playing in his 89th consecutive game. He finds Anquan Bolden on that 1-yard score. The Lions up 10-3 at half, guys.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Pryor with a touchdown.
Yeah, one last thing about Terrell Pryor. Remember, when he came out to the NFL, Hue Jackson coached him in Oakland.
Right.
So he's known this young man for a while, plus had him for a short time in Cincinnati. And he's the one who I think ultimately said, look, young man, we can do this, but you're the one who has to make the move, and now he has.
And he's saying to Cody, hey, let's make that happen again here in the second half and get back into this thing. That was a big touchdown. 21-10, the Browns trail the Cowboys. Let's send it now to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which begins right now. Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Prescott throws to a wide open Witten, and he will tiptoe into the end zone. A touchdown. This one is off the upright. Are you kidding me?
He's inside the pylon and he's in the end zone. That's a touchdown.
Today's excitement brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. Dallas set to get the football. We welcome you to the broadcast booth here in Cleveland alongside Charles Davis and Chris Spielman. Peter Schrager on the sideline. I'm Tom Brenneman. First half, you look at some of the numbers, Charles, and the Browns are right there except
red zone.
Yeah.
Third down, right? 0-5 on third down. Dallas, I believe, is 5 of 5 or 5 of 6 in third down. And then red zone. Dallas has gotten there 3 times, and they've all been touchdowns, Chris Spielman. Cleveland's gotten there 3 times, a field goal, a touchdown, and a missed field goal. It's all touchdowns for Dallas. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, and you look at Cleveland's defense is going to start in the second half. We talk about third downs. Dallas was 80%. The other thing is they have to win first and second down. That's where Dallas has them 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and they've been winning those situations. And for Cleveland to get a stop would be big for not only their defense, but maybe give their confidence to the offense to get it going.
Let's check in downstairs with Peter Schrager.
Hey, Chris nailed it right there. Hue Jackson told me coming out of halftime, this drive is huge. We have to find a way to stop the run. They're owning us at the line of scrimmage. We got to do better. And when we're in the red zone, score touchdowns. Put points on the board. Do not miss those opportunities. No injuries on either side of the ball, guys. Let's get back to the action.
First down, and wide open is Witten. And he's having a big day. All the way inside the 40-yard line, or they're spotted right at the 40, the 6th reception of the day for Witten.
We've got double tight ends there, Witten on the inside, and that's just a total breakdown, Chris Spielman, because he is wide open on that one. But a lot of it is, look at this fake by Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Absolutely sold that one, which rookie quarterbacks don't often do. They don't have the patience for it.
Tracy Howard jumped the fake. That ball was all the way. He was going to make his tackle. Be disciplined in your coverage. Taking advantage of the rookie.
Witten now 6 catches for 101 yards. It's a 21st career 100-yard receiving game for Jason Witten, but his first since the final week of the season in 2013. Prescott continues to set rookie record after rookie record in Cowboys franchise history. Now completion, passing yards, passing touchdowns. Elliott averaging a little better than 5 yards per carry. And Kessler's been very, very good. You cannot complain with 14 out of 20. A touchdown and 167 yards.
And a whole lot of toughness in the pocket, taking some shots and getting up and continuing to fire.
Second down. Back shoulder throw there, and that's the first catch of the game for Dez Bryant.
You see the continued growth of Dak Prescott, because this ball will be delivered before Dez Bryant comes back to the football. The reason why, because Prescott's reading Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden's on top of Dez Bryant. When he's on top of Dez Bryant, that triggers in his mind to throw the back shoulder. Perfect timing between the rookie and the veteran.
And a whole lot of trust, too. Rookie quarterbacks don't like to make that throw unless they know the guy's flat out open. That's an anticipatory throw, knowing that his receiver is going to make the same read.
Blitz coming, and he takes his shot, throws it to the end zone, and overthrows with an eye on Williams. You know, you talk about that game, fellas. Last Sunday night against Philadelphia, the first, I guess you'd call it, maybe bump in the road for Dak Prescott. Was under incredible pressure. A lot of duress, missed some throws, was visibly upset, but stayed with it when his team fell behind by 10 in the 4th quarter. There he was when it mattered the most.
And a big play by Jason Garrett and Rich Bisaccia, special teams coach, with the fake punt to steal possession. But Prescott down the stretch was much better, much cleaner. 5 of 5 in overtime with the game-winning touchdown pass.
Second down and 10, and they'll have Prescott keep it. And a gain of a yard, so an important third down coming up for this Cleveland defense.
And that's the next step, I think, in this Dallas offense. The next evolution is more designed runs for Dak Prescott. Because that was a design call there, Chris. Did you see how they pulled Jason Witten from the backside to the front side on a lead? That wasn't a zone read where he was reading anything. It was just a play fake and then going out with it.
They have that in the red zone to take advantage of the red zone, and you see the progression will move out to the middle of the field to get him involved in a running game.
All right, a third down, penalty flag already thrown, and Prescott throws incomplete. Got an eye on Beasley and Williams in coverage, but we wait on the flag.
Lined up offside again for the Browns.
Do you decline this if you're Cleveland?
I think it's on Cleveland.
It's on Cleveland.
It's on Cleveland?
Offside,
Oh, they lined up offside?
Defense, number 91, lined up in the neutral zone.
Boy, how
5-yard
can that
penalty,
happen?
still third down.
What's that word you like to use, Chris? Discipline?
Yeah, right there.
Tyrone Holmes. Understand where you are.
It's a freebie, and believe me, the Cowboys don't need any help scoring points
And you
or getting yards.
And you go from, what, 3rd and 9 to 3rd and less than 5 now. And you might even be thinking 2 downs if you're Dallas.
And plus, you dictate to Cleveland what defense they have to play. You have to play man-to-man coverage to have yourself a chance to get off the field and get a stop.
Well, you should be forcing a field goal try right now. Another penalty flag is thrown, and Prescott fires to Witten. It's good enough for a first down inside the 10 to the 7, but we wait on another penalty. That flag was on Tyrone Holmes, a rookie out of Montana, who was coming off his best game of the season last week against the Jets.
Offside, number 96, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is
Chris,
declined.
you and Charles, you guys both play defense. Charles, you in the secondary. Chris, obviously you at linebacker. How in the world can you not tell when you're offsides?
Right here.
You should be able to tell. I mean, that's just a total lack of being able to look up and down the line of scrimmage. You got to remember where your helmet is as well. Your helmet's probably what's breaking the neutral zone. And I realize you're trying to get the get off to get to the quarterback, but you've just negated things again. They got the first down, but back-to-back plays where you're lined up in the neutral zone, that just doesn't make any sense at all.
Elliott, and he will find the end zone again.
Body Calhoun, you got a chance to make the play in the open field. You're a rookie going up against a rookie. Who's going to put who's on whose highlight film? Right here, Zeke Elliott.
Watch to the left side. Watch how it's walled off so well. Look at Witten, 82. Terrence Williams, 83. They made it a one-on-one play in open field. The toughest tackle in football, one-on-one open field. But Brian Body Calhoun had the opportunity to at least slow him up and maybe get some help. And Ezekiel Elliott just essentially ran right through him.
And that's where the youth is being exposed in the secondary. And missed tackles in the secondary have been a huge problem for this Browns defense all year.
Elliott, the second rushing touchdown of the game. The point after is good. I'm sure Body Calhoun was in this position playing for Minnesota a time or two the last couple of years.
This game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents. Only at Burger King. And by Fiat.
One of the great powerhouse high school football programs in Ohio, St. Ignatius, the Wildcats beating Jackson Polar Bears. Ignatius trying to win their 12th state title this year. We thank Nick Kovac from Fox 8 right here for that video.
Same coach?
10 games in a row, 25 or more points.
Same head coach?
Yes.
Because he's been phenomenal.
Forever.
Because I remember he was the head coach of Team USA when they played in the international tournament, the under-19 tournament. Bryce Petty was the starting quarterback for that team, and against Canada in the final game, he missed one throw. Things like 14 of 15 or 15 of 16.
They beat Canada. Talking about with you earlier.
I'm just trying to make up for Chuck Howley and Roy Jordan.
I mean, that's really breaking up the goods there. An under-19 Bryce Petty reference. Penalty flag down on the return. This is against Cleveland again, it looks like, and there's an injured Brown on the field.
Holding number 57 return team. Half the distance from the goal. First down, timeout.
No, that is not Jamal Anderson of Atlanta. That's Zeke Elliott. We're going to call that the Zeke.
Of course, with the presidential election coming up on Tuesday, they're thinking about Dak or Zeke for president.
I think they're going to run them as a straight ticket. That's a ticket Cowboy fans can believe in right there.
First down carry, Isaiah Crowell for a couple of yards on first down. 28-10 Dallas, and we send it back to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Detroit and Minnesota, the departure of Norv Turner. We've got the new offensive coordinator, Pat Shermer, in Minnesota. And you got Kyle Rudolph with a 1-yard touchdown from Sam Bradford. After a missed extra point, the Lions are up 10-9. Tom?
All right, Carissa, thank you very much. Back on a second down and 8, and it's complete to the tight end, Gary Barnidge, and they'll move the chains.
Man, I want to make a point about Dallas's defense. And to me, when I watch this crew on film, they don't have superstars. They have a lot of good players that understand their role, and they execute fundamentals under pressure. They're rarely out of position. That's why they're a good defense under Rod Marinelli.
You know what their expression is there, right? The star of our defense is our defense.
And Kessler is run over by Malik Collins, two-time All-Big Ten performer out of Nebraska with his first sack of the year.
Big Malik moves well inside. Right here, he's just going to keep pushing and pushing, and see that little swat.
Yeah.
Cody Kessler comes to step up into the pocket, and you see the closing speed and a nice job of discipline of not going helmet to helmet, keeping that head off the side to finish.
I think young defensive linemen, one thing that they underestimate is the ability to use their hands. And you notice how Chris just talked about that swat at the end. That's what won the ability for him to get to the quarterback.
You know, it's funny, if you watch a lot of football on television as they dump this one off to Crowell. And that's a nice pickup, still well short of a first down, but third down coming up. You know, look, there's a part of Rod Marinelli that's exactly what you see. I mean, this rough, old school football guy. But when he walks into a room, he is as gentle, soft-spoken, kind, polite as anybody you're ever going to meet.
But a man of total conviction.
Yep.
Understands what he's doing. You know, he calls his defense the Mighty Orphans after a book by Jim Dent, the 12 Mighty Orphans that ruled back in the 1930s in high school football in Texas.
That's a nice throw right there. Depending on the spot, I think Pryor is short. This is very close. That's Anthony Brown, the rookie, getting the start in the absence of Claiborne as a third corner.
This is because Terrell Pryor has such great speed. The threat of going deep as he got the first down, the threat of going deep and getting that DB's shoulders turned downfield, and the ability at his size to come back. Not many better at doing that.
They've got Brown isolated on Pryor down at the bottom of your screen. Duke Johnson spun down after a gain of 3. And speaking of Rod Marinelli, for more on him, here's Peter.
Yeah, Tom, you know, look, he says this is no stars on this defense necessarily, but a very blue-collar one. And on the way out of our meeting yesterday, pulled him aside and said, hey, you know, John Lynch got his jersey retired by the Bucs and the Broncos. He says the Hall of Fame's got to be next. Do what you can. Get it out there. Big love for our Fox colleague, John Lynch.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's definitely a strong candidate for the Hall of Fame, and deservedly so.
Kessler throws incomplete with an eye on Pryor. Good coverage out there by Carr.
You know, Coach Marinelli said something in a meeting that stuck with me yesterday. He said a lot of wisdom. I don't even think he knows he was imparting wisdom on us, but he said, the film talks to me.
Yeah.
The film is the interview with a player. I don't need to talk to a player. He kept saying, this player is trying to tell me that I hustle. This player is trying to tell me that I make tackles.
Tell me I have good fundamentals. I'm positioned well.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, the combine stuff. You get the idea.
You weren't a big fan.
He'd skip going to Indianapolis in February.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good. Let me watch the tape.
Third down. Kessler steps up and now is dropped at the 30-yard line by the veteran Justin Durant.
Has to be coverage, right? To have that amount of time and not find anyone to throw the football, it has to be coverage. And look at that, Skandrick 32. Now we're going to see Anthony Brown, number 30, who won that battle initially off the line of scrimmage because Corey Coleman couldn't get loose. So that allowed the guys to keep working, to keep fighting up front. See, that's plenty of time to throw the ball. But if no one's open, that allows Justin Durant to clean up at the end.
Being physical in bump and run. They actually bumped in bump and run.
Colquitt, a short punt. And coming up to get it, looking right into the sunshine, is Lucky Whitehead. So Dak Prescott with a 28-10 lead, and Dallas with a football when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Join a better network because better matters.
Well, you take a look at the Dallas Cowboys on offense today. Touchdown, 3 and out. Touchdown, touchdown, 10-9, 9 plays. In the end of the half, they took a knee. First possession to begin the second half, 7 plays, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Elliott bounces off 1 tackle and gets a yard. But it all begins, you know, you go back to those Super Bowl winning Dallas Cowboy teams in the 1990s in front of Troy Aikman and company. 2A, Newton, Stepnoski, Allen, Williams, perennial Pro Bowlers blocking. And now this group in front of Prescott and Elliott. Smith, Leary, Frederick, Martin. 3.
Yeah, 3
Hollins injured early in the year.
Sorry about that, Tom. 3 first-rounders on this group now. And that circle you saw?
Yeah.
That was Chris Spielman circling Larry Allen. I think he's got memories of that big guy.
Oh, I'm on his highlight film, bloody. That's the difference right there. I mean, that's so frustrating. You get great coverage downfield, solid protection by the offensive line that Tom just highlighted. Then you have this guy that does not panic. He will take a natural throwing lane and automatically turn it into a running lane because of the loss of contain by Nassib.
And what about the ball fake? See the eye, see the ball fake, see what Kirksey did? He went and hugged up on Jason Witten and took him out of the play and created an extra running lane that Prescott took advantage of.
So first down in midfield, they fake it to Elliott, and they throw it to Elliott. He takes a shot, bounces off a tackle, unbelievably turns it into nearly a 6-yard gain.
Rarely does he lose yardage. Williams has a shot at him right here. Now he's giving up size. Now he tries to wrap him up. I'm going to give him an A for effort because he tries to wrap him up with the strength of Zeke Elliott.
He absorbed that shot with no momentum, and Williams had all of it, absorbed it, bounced off, and went. I remember what the Ohio State coaches said about him. He plays as hard without the football in his hands as he does when we hand it to him. That's why we like him so much as a player.
Cuts it back up to the inside. Penalty flag down. About a yard short of a first down, but again, we wait on the penalty.
Another offside, Tom. Yeah. I mean, you know, I had a great coach. His name was Frank Gans.
Crash.
And
offside defense, number 96, lines up in the neutral zone.
You're not
that 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
You're not going to win any battle if you can't get lined up. Lined up to execute your job and lined up to not have a penalty, and that's number 2 right there. And those are mental errors that a team that's 0-8 and has to earn everything they get, helping a team that's 6-1 that's on a roll.
And did you see head coach Hue Jackson talking with him? I don't think he was counseling him as much as letting him know, if you don't play anymore today, that's the reason why. I mean, he's got to get this team disciplined and moving in the right direction.
Alfred Morris, tell you who's still playing hard is Demario Davis, giving it everything he has. And we send it back again to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. The Eagles and the Giants chasing the Cowboys in the NFC East. 21-10 Giants to start the second half, but Kenyon Barner with a 3-yard touchdown run. We got a game here. Giants up 21-17 in the third. Tom?
Well, the old days, Charles, you and I were moving all around this part of the country with this Carissa Thompson back in the old Big Ten Network startup days. Talked about the NFC East, only team in the only division in the NFL where every team has a winning record. Prescott again to Witten, who's having a monster day. And he's inside the 15. Witten's just gone over 125 receiving yards on the day.
And again, the problems of tackling in the secondary are an issue for the Browns. As Witten right here in the middle is going to work the bunch route.
And watch 41. Watch 41 for the Browns as well.
And that's a missed tackle. And again, you're asking Tracy Howard, who's a rookie
and a natural corner,
and probably not ready to play the safety position in this league. Let me ask you a question. You think Cleveland Browns fans ever ask, hey, we could have drafted Zeke Elliott. Hey, we could have drafted Dak Prescott. I mean, it's easy to play Monday morning general manager.
Forever to throw it.
And actually you just did on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, I mean, that's my job.
I know. I know.
They've been documenting this entire week what happened just 2 years ago. Draft day. You know, Cowboys, were they going to take Johnny Manziel? Jerry Jones thought, let's make a splash. Let's don't go with another offensive lineman.
And Stephen Jones tackled him.
That's exactly right. And they went with Zach Martin. The Browns took Johnny Manziel. From 2011 to 2014, not a single #1 pick of the Browns is with their team today. And I don't mean, you know, on injured reserve or something like that. Just cut back to the inside by Elliott, still on his feet, dragging tacklers inside the 5, close to another first down. And he ran right over Derek Kindred.
Tyron Smith, another #1 draft pick. This play is designed to go outside because watch what Tyron Smith, number 77, does. Sets him inside. You see that? He becomes a lead blocker and automatically gets his eyes inside to seal off. Then you have a guy that's possessed about getting to the end zone.
And running hard. But here's the other thing, guys. 0-8 and another drive against you, you also have discouragement setting in. I see discouragement in some of these missed tackles, not just athletic ability.
Well, you got to believe they're going to give it to Elliott, see if he can't get in there one more time. Leans forward to the 2. And look at some of the names we were just starting to talk about since 2011. You take the top 3 out because they've been drafted in the last 2 years. We were making reference 2011 and 2014, multiple number round picks.
Yeah, Justin Gilbert is now in Pittsburgh. Johnny Manziel out of football. Barkevius Mingo is in New England. Trent Richardson out of football. Brandon Whedon, I believe, is a backup in Houston. And Phil Taylor, big defensive tackle out of Penn State at the time. Penn State and Baylor, because he played both places. No return on investment.
Wide open for the touchdown is Escobar. That's his first catch of this season. And he hits a lottery with a touchdown.
Jason Witten captures a lot of attention. This is beautifully designed play. Escobar is going to be here. Witten's going to be right here. Dak is going to trust his offensive line to allow this play fake to develop with the pulling guard. And just a late little sneak out design play. Never was that ball intended to go to Witten. It was always going to Escobar wide open.
You talked about all the attention. You see how Body Calhoun ran to Witten from the backside and left it wide open for Escobar. You're exactly right.
Point after by Dan Bailey is good. Longest winning streak in the National Football League belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. And they're a little more than a quarter of a way from making it 7 in a row. .34 touchdowns surrendered by this Browns defense. Franchise record through 9 games. We brought up earlier, it is a 9 consecutive games. The Browns have allowed 25 or more points, which ties an NFL record to begin a season with the 1964 Denver Broncos. But look, the story continues to be the Dallas Cowboys. 35-10 leaders. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV, of course, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Long live rock, screamed Roger Daltrey many, many years ago. Well, what a great place that is.
It's a great group right there. Shot of the offensive line. Well done.
Master technicians at their craft, aren't they?
Now penalty flag thrown before first down from their own 25.
Neutral zone infraction, number 93.
Well, what is in the water? What is in the water?
Benson Mayowa. He got caught. Didn't he learn anything from the other guys?
Here's what's in the water. The Browns are one-dimensional,
and they're trying.
So everybody's got their track stance coming.
Full get off.
Sacks.
Full get off.
That's what's in the water.
Look at it. It's all sprinter stances for the D line.
Kessler is pulled down by Collins. His first 2 sacks, both coming today. 3rd round pick this year.
So the beautiful thing about being a pass rusher, or excuse me, Collins is over here off the game, pick game right there, is that you can have closing speed inside. And that's a teamwork sack. That is like a pick in basketball where the one guy goes first, allowing Collins to come around to throw the pick, and he's able to finish.
Kessler still looking for an open receiver and just throws it away. 3rd down and 13 with 1:02 to go in the 3rd quarter.
And that was Tyrone Crawford, by the way, that threw the pick.
Now here's the deal, guys, though. If you're Dallas, you want to line up anywhere but there, because that's Joe Thomas. Okay, Joe Thomas, 9 straight Pro Bowls, 9 years in the league. So everyone else has got a chance to get home. You're not likely to get home with Joe Thomas's side. Mayowa's going to say, hey, can I go to the opposite side and try it there? Because Thomas is incredible.
I want to ask you guys a question, and I know you can't read the mind of Joe Thomas. As rolling is Kessler, and he'll stay on his feet, tiptoe, and spin out of bounds. 4th down coming up, they'll punt it. look, he's never going to come out. He's far too classy. He always has been. Wisconsin kid, drafted #1, has made a lot of money, done incredible things on the field and in the community with his family here in Cleveland. He's too smart to say anything about it. Deep down, do you think he wishes he was traded before the deadline to have a chance to play on a winning team?
I think he definitely thinks about that, Tom, and maybe for some reasons he wants to do that. But I really do believe what he said, that I want to be part of something special in this rebuilding. And I think he believes in Hue Jackson and what he was trying to do.
And as we see Whitehead take it out of bounds, my take very quickly, if he wanted to go ahead and be traded, all he had to do was very, very quietly say to Sashi Brown and Hue Jackson, it's time. You got to get me out of here. And that would have done it without him having to make a major stink in the papers and everywhere else. So I take him at his word that he wants to be in Cleveland. Because if he wanted out, I think he would have been able to say it and they would have accommodated.
And I'll say it right now, he's a Hall of Fame tackle.
No doubt.
He's as good as there is on film that I've watched all year.
No doubt.
Well, the UFC's New York debut begins on FS1 with the biggest prelims card in UFC history. UFC 205 prelims live from Madison Square Garden Saturday only on FS1.
Looks like a lot of belts on the line there.
Lucky Whitehead in motion. And they give it to Alfred Morris. And that will be the final play, more than likely, of this third quarter. It was 21-10 at halftime. The Cowboys scored twice in the third. 35-10. NFL on Fox continues after a word from your local Fox station. You know, you go all the way back to that second quarter when at the time it was a 7-3 Dallas lead. Cleveland had the ball inside the 25. A third down and 2 was putting together a really nice drive. They tried to throw the ball into the end zone, incomplete. Wound up missing a field goal try. Dallison got the ball, went down the field, scored a touchdown, and really has been in command ever since. But it's funny how sometimes, and you'll hear teams that are 0-8 or 2-6, whatever it might be, they'll say, you know,
we're just a few plays away.
That's right.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
A few plays each half away.
A few plays each quarter for some. But that does come up a lot, and teams talk about it because even the good teams say they're 4 or 5 plays per game. If you make those, that gets your record in the direction you want it to go.
Yeah, look, most of the NFL games I watch come down to 4 or 5 plays between wins and losses.
Absolutely.
Cowboys 5 out of 6 on third down. They get 6 out of 7. Beasley to the 42. Cole Beasley is the leading receiver of these Dallas Cowboys from Little Elm, Texas.
Remember in the first half we talked about pressure? Okay, would Cleveland bring extra guys to try and get it? Well, they did. And look how Lance Dunbar helps pick it up. And he steps in there, stays in there, and throws a strike downfield to Cole Beasley. You see Dak Prescott? He was getting people into his chest as he delivered the pass downfield.
That's confidence growing in Dak Prescott and timing growing between not only Des Bryant and Witten, but all his receivers.
Ezekiel Elliott back into the ball game, spins his way inside the 40 to the 37, and we spin our way to LA and into Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Tom. Back to New York we go. 21-17. Giants up. Eli drops back, delivers this 32-yard strike to rookie Sterling Shepard. Manning's 4th of the day. This was a rather anemic offense until today. Giants up 28-17. Tom?
And
Carissa, thanks.
And Carissa is so interesting, right? Sterling Shepard with a touchdown catch. They drafted him essentially to replace Victor Cruz because they weren't sure Victor would make it back. Now you got Victor Cruz and Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham Jr. They got that much stronger at that position.
Morris off to the left side is stopped short, about 3 yards short of a first down.
And this is where Dak Prescott is so dangerous because usually in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, teams are forced to play man, especially with big tight ends. And what Dak can do, if he sees a throwing lane, he'll turn it into the running lane, knowing that the second level of defense eyes are turned. Easy first down.
I mean, these records just keep falling, fellas. That's 236 passing yards now for Prescott. He's gone 225 or better now in 8 straight games. That is the longest streak at any time by any rookie in the Super Bowl era. And the yards just keep on coming. They convert again on 3rd down. Check in downstairs with Peter Schrager.
Hey, Tom, look, the Browns selected 8 different players in the draft before Dak Prescott was taken, but they weren't the only team. 31 teams passed on him, including the Cowboys. And Prescott said he was really bummed. You know, he was fishing in the Texas-Louisiana border during the draft. He was upset, and then he got drafted by the Cowboys, his childhood favorite team, and he was thrilled and said from that point on, he forgot about any of the draft status stuff at all.
Peter, he really impressed the Cowboys early, especially their defense. They watched him do things in practice and thought, boy, we've got to find here.
Well, you know what, Peter, stay right there a second, because you were off last weekend. And, of course, we heard the news, and many others have heard the news, but officially on the air to have you back. Congratulations to you and your bride, Erica, for the miracle born into this world is known as Mel Owen Schrager, born on the 26th. And I tell you what, you look pretty doggone good for a guy that's not getting a lot of sleep right now, big man.
I feel great. We're here. We got football on. Tom, I love you, man.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, you need to get Mel in the gym, Peter, as soon as possible. And manual resistance starts tomorrow.
Tell that story another time, Chris.
Hey, and Peter, don't take any credit for looking good and feeling good. Miss Erica had Mel, all right? She's the one that gets all the credit.
That's exactly right. And boy, Spielman is just brutal. I mean, you know, says he wants to help the guy. Get Schrager in the gym yesterday, kicks him right in front of the bus.
You made 11 minutes. What do you want from the guy?
Oh, man.
Jeez. Glad I didn't show up, Charles.
You notice I didn't show up either.
I'm going to take him to curves next week.
15-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
So this is that portion
right there,
game
TB.
now.
No, I'm not.
Guys, this is that portion of the game now where, you know, the old term about evaluating when things are really difficult. This is a Browns coaching staff that I think is a really good staff. Ray Horton, I think, is a proven excellent defense coordinator in the NFL. Trying to fashion together things. He needs more talent to work with. Right now, they're evaluating guys. 0-8. We're down. Dallas is putting it to us. Who's going to play hard? Who's going to run to the football? Who's going to carry out their assignments? Or who's going to maybe give up a little bit? And they've got to keep an eye out for that.
Well, after that personal foul, they put it in the hands of Beasley. Got a block from Tyron Smith, but unable to escape the arms of Campbell. First rookie quarterback in team history with 3 or more passing touchdowns in multiple games. We saw him do it week 6 in Green Bay. That was a huge game for Prescott and his Cowboys team. They had started the season, you know, at 4-1. But they're going into Lambeau. Sellout crowd naturally. Big game environment. Late afternoon.
Green Bay in the midst of a 4-game run at home.
Yep. And Prescott turned it over for the first time in that game, but got him the win. That throw is incomplete. Of course, that's when he started his career, set an all-time NFL record. Not for a rookie, but for anybody. Prescott win his first 176 pass attempts to start a career without an interception, breaking the old record held by Tom Brady.
And you know what they would tell you at Mississippi State? And that was one that could have been picked. Was that Ed Reynolds?
Yep.
Back deep who could have gotten that. It was a real ball hawk at Stanford. But Mississippi State, you know what they'd say? That doesn't surprise us, that 176. At one point, Mississippi State went 239 in a row without throwing an interception.
Now on the punt, Chris Jones. And
I thought he'd wait for a fair catch.
yeah, Cowboys thought he signaled for a fair catch. We're in the 4th quarter, and it's all Dak Prescott and the Cowboys in Cleveland.
This game is sponsored by Watch Dogs 2. Hack Everything. Available November 15th. Rated M for mature. And by Pfizer. Prevnar 13.
You know, any little thing goes wrong, Charles, Chris, when you're having this kind of year, this is the kind of stuff that happens, and everybody's talking about it a week ago.
And I feel so bad because the dog pound fans are about as good as you get in the NFL, right? I mean, think about all the years they've seen losing football, the weather that you're going to get in November, December here. They still turn out, support their team, try and do something cool, and just by misalignment, like a bad defense, they get that sign. I felt horrible for them.
So some people know this, that I finished my career in Cleveland and really got knocked out down there on the field. but it was an honor for me to play in front of Cleveland Browns fans. I'm from Northeast Ohio. This is my team growing up. And so, you know, when I'm not on the air, I'm one of those guys that, come on, Cleveland, come on, you can do it. And it's just, they're as loyal fan base as there is. You can talk about Cub fans and everything, but the Browns fans are as great as there are in any pro sport.
No doubt about it.
And the beauty was right here in this stadium where you ended your career, you're able to make peace with it today.
Yeah, we buried that demon, didn't we?
Buried that demon, brother.
You know, for those of you that don't know, as Crowell makes a catch, I mean, Chris, you were on the field, what did you say, the 42-yard line, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
And momentarily paralyzed.
Yeah, for about 3 seconds, and you know, literally your life flashes in front of you, and I was asking myself all these questions. In fact, Charles and I went down there and taped something today and documented it. And I look at it, I had to get rid of that. It's the first time I've ever been back to this stadium since.
Well, not much running room. It'll bring up 3rd down. Oh, there is no doubt. You know, you go back and we were talking with Jason Garrett last night, how he wore number 17. There's a number 40. There's a 42-yard line, Chris, the one you were had to really go down there. And then you and Charles going down today, you made a videotape to kind of put it away.
Yeah, I did, because, you know, that was a rough time in my life, not only football, but personally. But to me, I wanted to say that I had no regrets in that football. The NFL, it was a privilege for me to play in the NFL. Not the NFL to have me in it, for me to be a part of that. And I felt like so compelled to go visit that spot for this reason, because I wanted to make sure I had no regrets. And I really asked myself that question when I was standing down on that field. And I asked myself, would I do this all over again if I could? And go through all the neck surgeries and the partial paralysis? Absolutely, without blinking. There's no regrets. And just, I want these players to understand that it's a privilege for them to be out on that field. I don't care if you're 0-8 or 8-1 or 7-1. It doesn't matter. Play every play like it's your last, because that's truth.
Whitehead up to the 45-yard line. (35-10). Dallas with 7:48 to go in front of the Cleveland Browns. Cowboys with the football from their own 45-yard line. Alfred Morris behind this extraordinary offensive line in Dallas.
Take a good look at the coordinated movements of this offensive line of Dallas. Look at how the blue shirts are engaging the white shirts and moving them pretty much where they want to. And earlier in the game, my partner Chris Beal made a great point about how many yards downfield runners like Ezekiel Elliott were getting before anyone was contacting them. And it was always 4, 5, 6 yards downfield because of that offensive line.
Be surprised if we see Elliott much more in the game today. They're going to continue to feed Alfred Morris. That's his 10th carry of the game, and we check in once more downstairs with Peter Schrager.
A couple injury updates for you, Tom. Ronald Leary, the guard for the Cowboys, walked off. He's going through the concussion protocol. Carl Nassib on the Browns, he is out with an eye injury. And guys, just over here on my right shoulder, Mark Sanchez, helmet on, warming up a little bit. We might see him next drive.
I think that's a good move. We don't know what Tony Romo's status is. He's not right. One thing we talk about Tony playing, I promise you he won't play until he has a full week of practice, and he has not yet had a full week of practice.
Truthfully, one outside observer's thought, I think he's farther away than what people think. I don't think that like next week he's ready to go. You know, I think it's still a little bit of time, and I think it behooves them, and with a record like they have, to take their time with it.
Well, the final round of FIFA World Cup qualifiers kicks off. That's down in Chris's town, Columbus, Ohio. The United States will take on arch rival Mexico. Coverage begins Friday, 7 Eastern on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go.
I'll be getting my Rob Stone fix, the great Rob Stone, to give me the breakdown.
I'd love to
on
sit
Mexico and USA.
I'd love to sit down with Michael Bradley one day and ask what it was like to play when his dad was the coach, the head coach of the team, and now not having him there. What is that like to be with that national team? Get Stoner to give us a call on that, please, and let us know, because I'm sure he's got the info.
Well, I know what it's like to play for a dad.
you and me both.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing we have in common. And I imagine your dad coached you once in a while, Tom.
Well, I was coached on the game of life. I needed a lot of help in.
Hey,
I still need help.
That's the #1 game, though. Yeah, Franklin Davis, New Paltz, New York. I wish you could have met Sonny Spielman.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. Those two would have been swapping philosophies left and right. And you and I would have paid for it, too. Get over here.
Timeout is called by the Cowboys. So Witten giving a sign. He's had a monster day. 134 receiving yards and a touchdown.
Game is sponsored by Chevrolet. More 2016 J.D. Power Dependability Awards than any other brand.
Well, welcome back to Cleveland, Ohio. Prescott still under center. Been another outstanding day for Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys on offense. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, the USO, Wounded Warrior Project, and more. To join the salute and learn more, we invite you to please visit NFL.com/salute. Cowboys offense over 400 yards for a 6th consecutive game.
That's military precision, isn't it? Well, we just salute to service. That's what they're like.
You know, we're talking about the Tony Romo years, and again, this is not taking anything away from Romo, who's had an unbelievable career. But you go back to 2006 when Romo took over at quarterback. They never had this kind of run, 6 in a row. Even going back to 5, they had 5 seasons since 2007 when they didn't have 5 400-yard offensive games over the entire year. They really got it rolling.
And the one thing they have going that maybe those teams didn't have, every team strives for this balance, right? Every week we have to hear we got to run the ball and we got to stop the run. And well, Dallas perimeter does it consistently. Run the football.
We go for it on a 4th down and a yard. It looks like it was enough for Alfred Morris. They give it up there by Davis to try and stop him, but it's a 1st down, and we check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Bad day if you're a Steelers fan. So Big Ben returns, but that doesn't seem to be helping. 13-0 Ravens early for it. The Steelers punt is blocked by Buck Allen. Rookie Chris Moore scores, and a successful 2-point conversion has the Ravens up 21-0. Tom?
Tell you what, it's been surprising this year, this AFC North. This is normally one of the best, if not the very best division in all the NFL. What with, you know, three years in the last 4 seasons, you've had 3 teams in that division make the playoffs. You're going to challenge a spot of that ball as to whether or not Morris got enough for a 1st down.
It's challenging a ruling on the field of a 1st down.
Well, you be the judge. Give you a look as we go to break. You see the marker. Did Morris get there? Now the challenge on the field, the spot of the ball, ruling on the field says it's a 1st down.
I don't know how you can change it.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a 1st down. Cleveland is charged their 1st timeout and their 1st challenge.
Well, Mark Sanchez introducing himself to his coach, his offensive coordinator, and some of his teammates. Former New York Jets starter after coming into the league his first 4 seasons. Has been the number 2 to Dak Prescott this entire year. Bonus coverage coming up. Nearly a full quarter left from the Meadowlands in an 8-point game. This game produced by Mark Titleman, directed by Greg Stolpatone. Our associate director is Alex Olson. Our broadcast associate Jordan Wolf. Our technical producer is Bob Muller. And our technical director is Dane Crawford. Great audio work, Tim Denmark. And Zach Bayer from Columbus, Ohio. Our entire crew, another great job right here in Cleveland. And another great job by Dak Prescott. 21 of 27, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns without an interception. Elliott runs for 92 on just 18 carries, so better than 5 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. And Jason Witten, who etches his name yet again in the Dallas Cowboys record book. You know, he's all-time leader in starts, consecutive starts, receptions, and Witten is closing in on 300 yards shy of Michael Irvin's franchise record for receiving yards. We're at the 2-minute warning. Witten, Lee, Prescott, and company about to go to 7-1.
Game is sponsored by KFC's new $10 chicken share, a bucket for 2. KFC is finger licking good.
The home of one champion on the left, the home of nearly another on the right. Cavaliers and the home of the Indians right next door.
Well, they are the American League champions.
That's exactly right. Well put. Our good friend Terry Francona and company. Alfred Morris on 3rd down. And we're talking about how good this NFC East has been, and you know, by all accounts will continue to be through the remainder of the year. But you know, the winner of that Giants Philadelphia game, and they're still going, will be sending you there shortly, would go to 5-3, so a 2-game lead it will remain for the Cowboys over their next closest pursuer.
Remember, Washington has an open week, and that's, I like your point there though, Tom, because all the other teams where they want midnight, you do scoreboard watch a little bit, and each week if you see Dallas continue to tick games off, you realize how valuable it is to get your own wins, because you might be playing for that wild card spot instead of a division title. And then things really get critical because it's not just your own division, it's everyone else.
Well, they're going for it again on a 4th down and a yard, and again they have to spend a timeout. Stay tuned after the game for the State Farm post-game show. Jason Garrett now in his 6th full season. He'll go to 51-44, this Cleveland, Ohio native. He's had 3 8-8 seasons. Won an NFC title 2 years ago. They won a playoff game and had the heartbreaker on the controversial Des Bryant catch, no catch in Green Bay. He's another guy who's very easy to like on his 4th down and 1. Sanchez throws, and the catch by Swain, the backup tight end, and that'll tie a ribbon around this one as there's 1 minute left to play.
Just, I think a note for Jason Garrett. I think he's a very good football coach, easy guy to like. And I think he has the persona and personality to work with a Jerry Jones, who's the owner, but obviously the general manager of the team. And it takes a special guy to have that relationship. That's why Jason Garrett will be successful.
Reynolds is the injured Brown on the field. 57 seconds left. They'll take a look at him. Going on, we talked about 6 consecutive games with 400 yards or offense or more. That's a team record. Cleveland, I mean, these days are tough. They're going to 0-9, and Witten, first time since 2013 he goes over 100 receiving yards in a game. The Cowboys at 7-1, 9th time they've been there in franchise history. First time since 2007. They've won 4 straight road games. That's the longest road winning streak since they ripped off 10 in a row from 13 through 15. And for Cleveland, a franchise record 12th consecutive loss. First 0-9 start since 1975. They ended that year at 3-11. 9 of that team's 11 losses by double digits. So a lot of Cowboy fans in attendance here today, and you know, this is a franchise that travels and travels well.
Yeah, because a lot of, you know, for a lot of Cowboys fans, getting to games in other places is paramount because maybe they can't get the tickets they want in Dallas. So they will come from elsewhere. I've met a family from Pennsylvania. They came in and said, this is my chance to catch my Cowboys, and they came in from Pennsylvania for the game. So that's how they travel as well.
35-10 the final. Cowboys go to 7-1. Hue Jackson's team goes to 0-9, and we will return to Cleveland To wrap up today's game before we get you to bonus coverage with 8:34 to go from the Meadowlands, and we'll be back here to Cleveland in a moment.